This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Hello, this is Pastor O, and welcome to part 3 of the Favour is Not Random Sermonette series as part of our Red Pill of the Day program. I hope you are having fun. I hope you have watched part 1 and part 2, and I hope you have left your comments. We are making a case here that favor of God is not random. Divine favor or human favor, none of it is random. And today we are going to look at case study number 2. Yesterday we look at case study number 1. You know, we've had people say favor will take you from the valley to the top of the hill. And that is correct. We saw that Esther was an orphan in a foreign country and was raised by a poor uncle named Mordecai. But one day favor came to her and she ended up as the queen of Babylon, as the Christians like to say. Favor took Joseph from the pit where the brothers had abandoned him and placed him in the palace of the greatest country on earth. They say it's favor, unmerited favor, that made it possible for Daniel, a slave boy in bondage, okay, in Babylon, to become the top advisor to the king. He essentially became a prime minister. And when we are praying, we say the unmerited favor that made this happen for them, let God let it happen for us. I know and I believe favor will open doors that people have declared close to you. Favor will take you from being homeless to living in houses that you did not build. That's fact. But this favor to these people did not happen by accident. It did not happen by accident for these guys today in our case study. Our case study today, we are combining Esther, Joseph, and Daniel. All these boys, all these guys and girls, they got favor because of sins they have sown and pivotal events that presented a unique opportunity that they took advantage of to get favor. No, favor is not a spiritual lottery. You have to do something to get favor. There is nothing like unmerited favor. Esther did not just win a beauty contest. She had to participate. She didn't just stay in her house and they came and called her to become queen. And then she had to do a lot of work with Mordecai before she could make it. So she did something to earn that favor. Unmerited favor did not take Joseph from the pits to the palace of the king. That's not true. Joseph had a talent. Even though he got him into trouble, he never lost his integrity. He never abandoned his gifting. He used to dream. The dream angered his brothers and they sold him into slavery. But when he got into that slavery, he ended up in Potiphar's house. Potiphar's wife wanted to sleep with him, so he ran and ended up in prison. But in prison, he maintained his integrity, the gift of dreaming, of interpreting dreams, rather, that God gave him that made his brother sold him. He did not stop using it. When somebody had a dream in the jail, Joseph stepped up and interpreted it because he could. He ended up interpreting for 2 people. One of them, the interpretation was I was going to be killed anyway, and he was killed. Another one, the interpretation was I was going to end up being restored, and it happened for him. So when the time came for the king, the king had a dream, and he was looking for somebody to interrupt it and to interpret it. This other butler that they had helped remembered that there was a skillful guy in interpreting dreams that I met in jail. That is how Joseph ended up becoming the prime minister in Egypt. He flowed in his anointing. He kept on using the gift God has given him. He did not say, oh, this ability to interpret dreams that got me into trouble before. I'm not going to interpret dreams again. No, I'm just going to stay on my own. He kept on providing solutions as God has given him anointing to do. That is why he got favor to the level. If he didn't interpret the dream of that person, there is no way they will have remembered him. There's no way they will have called him. So it was not random. You have to flow your anointing. You have to keep being faithful to what God gave you. The same thing with Daniel. Oh, we all say, I want to be favored like Daniel, a slave boy who became an advisor to the king in Babylon. It was not unmerited favor. There is nothing like unmerited favor. Otherwise, God will be partial. Every favor that you get is premised on something. God will not be deceived. The man will reap exactly what he sowed. Daniel was a man given to excellence. Remember, we first read about him when they asked him to come and eat unclean food. He said, no, I will not eat food that is abhorrent to my God. He was a man of integrity, a man of excellence. In fact, that's why they even selected him first. They said they selected people, young boys that have excellent spirit, young boys that are top-notch, young boys that are top of their game. That's how it could even be in a position for them to select him as the elite people that they will put as slaves to the king. And then he continued to excel there. So he didn't just end up becoming the top advisor to the king without doing anything. It was not unmerited, it was deserved favor. Because when the king even passed a law and said nobody should pray, Daniel, that was a man given to prayer as was his habit, he was ready to die for what he believed in. He went to pray despite the fact of what the king said. And that got him into trouble. And they threw him into the lion's den. But God, seeing how faithful he has been, that this was a man, after all, was not the only one in Babylon. When they said nobody should pray, he was the only one they caught praying, because they know the man will not stop praying. But he stayed firm. As you can see, there are qualities that made Daniel to become a candidate for favor. He was excellent in what he does. He was faithful in his faith. How excellent are you that you are praying for unmerited favor? Have you earned your skills? Are you a compromiser when it comes to things of God and you are wondering why you don't get favor all the time? Daniel refused to compromise. First, when it comes to the eating of unclean foods, and then when it came to whether he will pray to his God or not. But you whittle and fall down before even any temptation, any trial comes. And you are wondering why this unmerited favor have not found you. There is nothing like unmerited favor. God cannot put anything on zero. Favor will open doors that people have declared close to you only when you are exercising your anointing to the fullest. Esther, Joseph, Daniel, all those three people in our case study today, as you can see, they did something to be qualified for the favor that they received. Even when Esther was going to approach the king later to plead for the Israelis that they were about to kill, you saw her make all these elaborate preparations. She cooked food for the king, sumptuous food, she prepared herself well, she dressed well, enticed the king, had a strategy to approach the king, because you can't just approach the king or they kill you. In other words, there is nothing like random favor. You have to call it. You have to provoke it upon yourself by doing something. That is what our case study today is establishing. But I want to pray for you that your prayer today should be, Father, create a situation that I can take advantage of that will usher me from the valley to the top of the hill. Stop praying for unmerited favor. Instead, pray for a situation that you'll be able to exploit to get this favor upon your life. Father, create a situation that I can take advantage of that will usher me from the valley to the top of the hill. Opportunities is what provokes favor. Because as you take advantage of that opportunities, favor will automatically follow you. So rather than pray for merited favor to just come and meet you in your bed, you want to pray for an opportunity for you to be able to do something so that you can receive the harvest of favor. Favor is a harvest for seed sown. There is nothing like unmerited favor. It's a lie. And I'm proving it to you. That's case study number 2. When we come to part 4 of this series, I will do another case study to show you that there is nothing like unmerited favor. And then we will go to the keys. There are about 9 keys I will give you that you can use every day to provoke favor upon your life, that when you wake up in the morning, you know you're going to be favored. You don't have to kneel down for anybody. You don't have to go to vigil to be favored. So stay tuned. Leave your comments, whether you agree or you disagree. Please make sure you subscribe to this Red Pill channel. Make sure you like our Facebook page and then post your comments and share this link with your friends. Let's have a Red Pill conversation. I will see you in part 4.